Okay, good morning, students. Uh, Last class we have discussed conditions of parallelism and different types of dependencies. So today we will start with hardware and software parallelism. Okay, so we know that in order to improve the performance of system, we have to do some improvement in the hardware as well as software. Okay, so for implementation of parallelism, special hardware and software support is needed. We have to enhance the hardware as well as software. Okay, so in between, the compiler support is also needed to close the gap between hardware and software. So these are all the things we have to take care when we want to go for parallelism. Okay, so we'll see what is there is many definitions for hardware parallelism. One second, student. Okay. So hardware parallelism is defined by machine architecture and hardware multiplicity. So it is mainly based on the architecture of the machine, and hardware multiplicity means if multiplicity means scalability. Okay, if you want to add the processors or if you want to extend the memory, so that all the things which comes under hardware enhancement. So hardware parallel, that will be defined by the both machine architecture and hardware multiplicity. Okay, and one more definition for that is hardware parallelism is a function of cost and performance. What trade-offs? What is the meaning of this? As you spend more money on hardware, you can increase the performance. So that is a function of cost and performance trade-off. If you spend more money, if you pay more money for hardware, then you can enhance the performance also. So one more thing, it displays the resource utilization patterns of simultaneously executable operations. So what is hardware parallelism? It shows the resource utilization patterns, okay, of simultaneously executable operations. So as you know that hardware is nothing but your resource. So first we have to see that where if there is any resource dependencies, that we have to see first. Okay, so that it will display the resources utilization patterns. Okay, that we have discussed in the last class, resource, what is resource dependency. Okay, so it can also indicate the peak performance of the processor resources. So hardware parallelism is nothing but it shows the peak performance, means highest performance of the, what is the maximum performance of the processor resources. So this is nothing but hardware parallelism. Okay, I hope you are understanding, students. Okay, so here it can be characterized by the number of instructions that can be issued per machine cycle. So here we know that what is one machine cycle. It is, that is something but some amount of time, right? So per machine cycle, how many instructions we can issue, that is based on the processor characteristics. Sometimes we can have one issue processor, means per machine cycle we can issue only one instruction. Okay, if it is two issue processor, then we can issue two instructions per machine cycle. Okay, we can issue two instruction per machine cycle. So generally we will call it as k issue processor. Generally we will call it as k issue processor. We will have one processor which will be having capability of issuing more than one instruction. So generally we will call it as k issue processors. So k can be 1 to n number. Okay, so here some examples are there. uh, Intel i960CA is a 3 issue processor, means in one machine cycle we can issue one arithmetic instruction, one memory access instruction, one branch instruction. Okay, per machine cycle it is. Okay, so it is not two processors executing parallelly. It is one processor which is having capability of issuing more than one instruction. Got students? So next one is Nabil. Okay. So then IBM RS 6000 is a 4-issue processor. Means it can issue one arithmetic instruction, one floating point, one memory access, and one branch instruction per machine cycle. Got students now what is K issue? K can be more than 1 to n. Okay, so if it is K is equal to 1, we will call it as 1 issue. If it is K is equal to 2, we will call it as 2 issue, like that it goes. Okay, so a machine with n K issue processors should be able to handle a maximum of nk threads simultaneously. So what is the meaning of this? Now I have n number of processors. I have n number of processors, and each processor is having capability of issuing k instructions. Got students? I have n processor. I have more than one processor in my system, as well as each processor is having capability of issuing more than one instruction. Then how many instructions or threads I can handle simultaneously? Nk means n is number of processors into K is nothing but number of instructions that can be issued per machine cycle. So that is the number which we will get for nk issue processor. So that many instructions we can execute simultaneously. Got students? Okay. So these are basic things about this one, hardware parallelism. So next is software parallelism. I hope this is clear, students. Any doubts in hardware parallelism, students? Okay, I'll continue. So software parallelism. Next one is software parallelism. So software parallelism is defined by the control and data dependence of programs and is revealed in the program's flow graph. So what is software parallelism? We know that by seeing the instructions, we can identify the dependencies. That can be data dependency, or it can be what? Resource dependency, or it can be control dependency. But for software parallelism, we will not see resource dependency because that will come under hardware parallelism. Okay, just we want to see only the data dependency and control dependency. If there is no dependency between the instructions, then we can give those instructions to execute it simultaneously to the processor. Right, students? First we have to see, is there any dependency? If no dependency means those instruction can be given simultaneously. This is basic thing, right? So that is the first what this statement says. Software parallelism is defined by the control and data dependence of programs. So that is defined by those two dependencies. Okay, and is revealed in programs flow graph. We have seen dependence graph, right? In dependence graph, we will denote all the dependencies among the instructions, right? So by it is that will be given in the flow graph. Okay, so it is a function of algorithm, programming style, and compiler optimization. As you know that hardware parallelism is function of cost and performance. Same way, software parallelism is function of algorithm. The algorithm which we will write, okay, then programming style means which programming language we will use, and compiler optimization, which compiler we are going to use. So these three comes into picture when we want to execute the instructions parallelly. Got students? So the it is function of all the three. Algorithm, which type of algorithm we will use, because one problem can be solved using many any number of algorithms, right? We know that in that subject you have studied different types of algorithms, right? So the effectiveness will be different. So which type of algorithm we will use, which programming language we will use, and which type of compiler optimization, you know that optimization is nothing but reducing the number of instructions. We have seen in compiler this when compiler design subject of your sixth semester, in that also we have seen what is compiler optimization. It is nothing but minimizing the number of instructions so that it should not change the original meaning, but it has to reduce the amount of memory that will be used as well as the time. It has to reduce the time. Okay, optimization is it should not change the meaning. So that compiler optimization also come into picture here. So overall it is a function of algorithm, programming style, and compiler optimization. Okay student, is it clear? Okay, so next, the program flow graph display the patterns of simultaneously executable operation. As hardware parallelism is nothing but it shows the resources, utilization of resources. Here it shows the patterns of simultaneously executable operations. Got students? Okay, next, parallelism in a program varies during the execution period. Even though we will write the instructions in order to get executed in parallelly, but it is not same when it get executed, because sometimes if we have control statements in our program, we cannot predict which path it will take. So that is what they are telling, that parallelism in a program varies during the execution period. Sometimes it varies also, but hardware parallelism it will not vary, because only we are taking care of resources which we are using, that will not change. Okay, so here next concept is, I hope this is clear students. Is there any doubts regarding hardware and software parallelism? You have to reply students. Is there any doubt?
No doubt, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next is mismatch between software and hardware parallelism. Okay, so mismatch. Now I have enough. Sometimes what happens is I have enough resource. I have enough resource to execute the instructions parallelly. But if because of the control and data dependency, I will not be able to utilize those resources in a good proper manner. I have resources, but because of this data and control dependencies, I will not be able to execute the instructions simultaneously. That happens, no students. I have resource, but if one instruction is dependent on another instruction, until and unless that first instruction, suppose I have two instructions, S1 and S2. Okay, this we have already discussed during dependencies. Okay, so I have S1 and S2. Now if S2 is flow dependent on S1, what is the meaning of that? S2 is flow dependent on S1. What is the meaning of that, students? That means the output variable of S1 and input variable of S2 will be same. One of the input, I can say. It is not all the inputs. Output variable of S1 and one of the input of S2 will be same. That time I can say that it is flow dependent. S2 is flow dependent on S1. Why? Because until and unless I will execute S1 statement and I get the result, I cannot execute S2, because I need the answer, result of S1 in order to give it as an input for S2. Yes, right. So that time what happens? I have two processors. Okay, but even though I have two processors, I cannot execute S1 and S2 parallelly. Got students? So that is nothing but mismatch. That is nothing but mismatch between software and hardware parallelism. With one example we will see now. Okay, is there any if you get any doubts in between, please ask students. Okay, simple concepts, please try to understand. Okay, so now As you can, one second, someone wants to join, I guess. Naima. Okay. So, mismatch between software and hardware parallelism. Now, as you can see, I hope this diagram is clear, students. Okay. So, this is nothing but flow graph, right? This is nothing but flow graph. Okay. So, here what happens is, if you see x1 and x2, we have two nodes, x1 and x2. That is nothing but multiplication. Okay. That is nothing but multiplication. So that both those two instructions dependent on flow dependent on, means x1 is flow dependent on L1 and L2, x2 is flow dependent on L3 and L4. Even until and unless I load those two variables, I cannot multiply. Okay. And in right part also, until and unless I guess I get this one L3 and L4, means those two variables. That is, L is nothing but load operation here. Okay. L is nothing but load. X, that plus minus are all arithmetic instructions. Okay. So here, uh, one second, students. Instruction is not given. Actually, here I have four load instructions in order to load four variables. Got, students? See, now you have to understand how you this you can understand this flow graph. Okay. By seeing the flow graph only, you should be able to write the set of statements. So here, by seeing this flow graph, I can say that I have four load instructions. Okay. Four load instructions I have. Then after getting that the value of first and second variable, I can multiply, and third and fourth variable also, after getting that only I can multiply. Okay. So I by seeing this, I can tell that I cannot execute L1 and that multiplication parallelly, because I need the value of L2. After loading L1 and L2 only, I can multiply. Same way, after loading L3 and L4 only, I can multiply. So here, by if you see here, I have four load operations, two multiplication operations, and one addition and one subtraction. Okay. So here, after multiplying two multiplication operations I have, after getting those products will be added once, and that will be stored in A, and the same products will be subtracted, and that will be stored in B. Got, students? So now, how many instructions you have here? How many instructions? Load L1, load L2, load L3, load L4. So four instructions. Then L1 into L2, fifth instruction. L3 into L4, sixth instruction. Then whatever the result I will get after L1 and L2, that will be added. That is seventh instruction. Whatever the product I will get by multiplying L3 and L4, that and this L1 and L2 multiplication, that those both will be subtracted. That is eighth instruction. So totally, how many instructions I have? Eight instruction. Got, students? Because here I have eight nodes also. Okay, each node represent one operation, right? Each node represent one operation. So how many instructions I have here? Eight instructions I have. Okay. So here in this diagram, as you can see, I can execute these instructions in three cycles. They have mentioned in three cycles. Mean, first cycle I will load all the variables. In second cycle, I will multiply parallelly. Okay, L1 and L2 I will multiply parallelly, L3 and L2 I will multiply. Then I will add and subtract both x1 and x2. I will add once and subtract once. Okay. x1 and x2 I will subtract. Okay, that will be stored in A and B respectively. So this is the overall picture. Okay, this is the set of statements I want to execute now. So okay, keep this in your mind. Now I will go to next slide. Now same problem, but considering the parallelism on a two issue superscalar processor. If I consider these instructions to be executed in two issue processor. Now you know that what is two issue. Two issue means I have one processor which is having capability of issuing two instructions machine cycle. See students, now in hardware here software parallelism I can given because there is no dependency among L1, L2, L3, L4. Right students? So this is software parallelism. Maximum software parallelism is given here. This is last slide. Because how I will detect the parallelism based on the dependencies. If you see there is no dependency among L1, L2, L3, L4. So I can say that L1, L2, L3, L4 can be executed because I am not thinking about resource dependency here. Okay, and I'm assuming that I have enough resource in order to execute it parallelly. I'm assuming that. Even as I don't have any resource, data or control dependency here, I tell that I can execute L1 and L2, L3, L4 parallelly, L1, L2, L4 parallelly because there is dependency among those instructions. But now there is no dependency and multiplication of L1 and L2 and multiplication of L3 and L. There is no dependency, students. So that can be executed in 10. Addition and subtraction can be executed. If you see this, there is no dependency. Got students? So, but
Hello.
Students, sorry students, I got disconnected. Okay, I was not knowing that. So am I audible now? Am I audible,
Yes,
students?
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now uh, okay. So is the screen is visible now? The screen is visible? No. Is it visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible? Okay, students. Now you have to tell whether you could able to listen when this. I have completed this and I was comparing the first and second one. When I completed this, that time I was there in class. At what point it got disconnected? Can you tell? Shama, it is done. Yes, students. I have completed all the 7 cycles. When I explained that time it was proper.
No, ma'am, you just started the second one.
I just started the second one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So this L1, L2 I was telling, or it is done. Okay, it's okay. I will start from the beginning. Second one. Uh, okay, this I hope this you have understood what is uh, software parallelism here. I can they are, according to this, I can execute 8 instructions. What are those 8 instructions that I have told? That time it was proper, no? Shama, I have
Yes,
explained
ma'am.
the set of yes, yes, okay. So, according to software parallelism, I can execute all the 8 instructions in 3 clock cycles, right? But now I am checking how can I execute those 8 instructions in a two-issue superscalar processor. Two-issue superscalar processor means if I have two issue, then I will be capable of issuing one arithmetic instruction and one memory access instruction. Okay, because some of the examples we have seen here if I have a 3-issue processor, I can execute arithmetic, memory access and branch instruction, right? If I have 4-issue processor, I can execute arithmetic, floating point, memory access and branch instruction. Same way here, I am executing those 8 instructions in 2-issue processor. 2-issue processor means one memory access operation and one arithmetic operation I can issue per machine cycle. Okay, I have one processor with 2 issue. It is having capability of issuing 2 instructions. I hope this is clear for you. What is k issue processor we have discussed. Okay, now in first cycle, as I can issue only one memory access, so I cannot load L1 and L2 simultaneously because I can issue only one load instruction. So only L1 can be loaded. At the same time, multiply, I cannot issue multiply operation also because I need L2. I need L2 in order to multiply. Got students. So there is a dependency. What type of dependency it is? Flow dependency. Because in order to multiply, I need L1 and L2. Okay, that multiply operation is dependent on both the load instructions. Got students. Okay, now what happens? First cycle I can issue only one load operation. In second cycle also I can issue only one load operation because until and unless I get the value of L1 and L2, I cannot go for multiplication. So now 2 cycles are utilized. Okay. Third cycle, what happens? Now I already have the value of L1 and L2. So I can multiply those using X1. So X1 is one multiplier. Okay. So that will be stored in that X1. So I can issue one multiplication operation as I have the value of L1 and L2. Same time, it is having capability of issuing 2 instructions. That is one memory instruction. I can issue L3 also. Is it clear, students? Is it proper now? Are you able to listen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now
Yes, ma'am.
in third cycle, yeah, okay. Third cycle, I will give one load instruction as well as one multiplication instruction. Got, students? So I can issue 2 instructions here. If as there is no dependency among L3 and X1, as there is no dependency among X1 and L3, I can issue it simultaneously. Got. Now third cycle is done. What happens in fourth cycle? Now I have loaded L1, I have loaded L2, I have multiplied L1 and L2, and I have loaded L3 also. Now in order to multiply, in order to get that X2, I need L4 also. So in fourth clock cycle, only L4 will be issued. Good. Because that X2 is dependent on L3 and L4. As you can see in this diagram, X2 is flow dependent on L3 and X2 is flow dependent on L3 and L4. Okay. So in third clock cycle, I can issue only L3 load operation. Got. Now in fourth clock cycle, yes, not in third clock cycle, it is in fourth clock cycle, I can issue only load operation. Now after fourth clock cycle, now I have both L3 and L4 so that I can multiply those L3 and L4, okay, using X2, add X2 multiplier. That will be done in cycle 5. Here, can I execute any or can I issue any arithmetic operation in cycle 5, students? I want answers from your
Ma'am,
side.
your voice is clear.
That time I'll come to know that you're listening and understanding. And can I issue one now? Is it clear now? Is it clear, students?
Now it is clear, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'm asking is, can I execute? I am issuing X2 in cycle 5. Can I issue one more arithmetic operation in cycle 5? Okay. Okay, I'll continue. I cannot execute plus and minus in cycle 5 because I need X2 in order to add and subtract. I am adding X1 and X2 and I am subtracting X1 and X2 as well, right? So in fifth clock cycle, I can only multiply L3 and L4. In sixth clock cycle, I will add X1 and X2. If you see here, X1 is given to plus as well as X2 is given to plus. Okay, means in sixth clock cycle,
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Ma'am, voice is not audible.
okay. In sixth clock cycle, I am students. Okay. The screen is visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, students, now, according to, I will repeat this as there was disturbance in between. I'll repeat this. According to hardware parallelism, I can execute 8 instructions. Software parallelism, I can execute 8 instructions in 3 clock cycles. But according to hardware parallelism, as I have one 2-issue processor, uh, I can execute 8 instructions in 7 clock cycles. Okay. Why you have seen the I have discussed the reasons why. Because in one clock cycle I can issue only one memory access operation and one arithmetic operation. If it is dependent on each other, I cannot issue. So it took how many clock cycles? 7 clock cycles. Now if you compare the hardware and software parallelism, there is a mismatch. Why? Is it clear, students, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if you see here, I have 8 instructions and I have executed those 8 instructions in 3 clock cycles. So, what is the average number of instructions I have executed? It is 8 by 3, right? Is it, students? I have executed 8 instructions in 3 clock cycles. Yes or no? So, what is 8 by 3? It is 2.7, right? 8 by 3 is 2.7. So that is the average number of instructions I have executed per machine cycle according to software parallelism. Now, if I see here, I have executed 8 instructions in 7 clock cycles. So that will be 8 by 7, it will be 1.2. Yes or no? 1.2 or 1. What is 8 by 7? No response, students. Are you listening?
One point four, ma'am. 1.14.
Yes, 1.14. Okay, it is not 1.2 also. So there is a mismatch, right, students? There is a mismatch because according to software parallelism, I got 2.7, means it is telling that I can execute more than 2 instructions in one clock cycle. That is average, right? 2.7 I can take it as 3 also. Here, according to hardware parallelism, as I have two issue processor, I have only one processor that is having capability of issuing 2 instructions per machine cycle. Number of instructions per machine cycle will be 1.14. Okay, there is a mismatch. Okay, so how to overcome that mismatch? We will see using this example. So same example I am taking. Here I am trying to overcome that mismatch. Okay, what is that mismatch? Now you understood. How it happens also you understood. Now same problem with, I will execute using single issue processor. I have 2 processor. See the difference, students. 2 processor and 1 2 issue processor is different. Okay, 2 processor is different and 1 processor with 2 issue is different, entire different it is. Okay, so now in order to overcome that mismatch, I am issuing or I am executing those instructions using 2 using 2 processors. It is not 2 issue processor, it is 2 processor. Got, students? Okay. Okay, how to overcome that? Okay, so as I have 2 processors here, 2 processor which is having capability of issuing 1 instruction per clock cycle. Got? Or 1 machine cycle. Got, students? The previous case it was different. It was able to issue 2 instructions per clock cycle and only 1 processor I had. Here I have 2 processors Both are having capability of issuing only one instruction per clock cycle. Got. So as I have two processor, at the same time I can simultaneously I can load L1 and L3. Okay. And in second clock cycle, simultaneously I can load L2 and L4 because I have two processors. Both the processors can load one memory access operations, or can execute one memory access operations at a time. There is no issue, right? Because I have two processors. Okay. Not it is two issue processor. It is two processors. You have to see the difference here. Okay. You have to understand that. So in second clock cycle, I can load L2 and L4. Okay. I can load L2 and L4 simultaneously. In third clock cycle, I can multiply L1 and L2 using X1. And same time, in third clock cycle, I can multiply L3 and L4. So in three clock cycles, I have loaded L1, L2, L3, L4, as well as I have multiplied L1 and L2 and L3 and L4. So these, how many operations done in three clock cycles? 6 operations are done in 3 clock cycles. Loading L1, loading L2, loading L3, loading L4. Multiplying L1 and L2, multiplying L3 and L4. Total 6 operations I have completed in 3 clock cycles. If you compare here, I took 5 clock cycles, right students? I took 5 clock cycles here using 2-ish superscalar processor. But when I used 2 processors, I am able to execute 6 instructions in 3 clock cycles. Good. Now, I hope it is clear, students. Now, as I am using 2 processors, you know that there should be a communication between the processor, because here whatever the output got by the processor 1, I will name it as processor 1 and processor 2. Left hand side I will take it as processor 1, right hand side, this left hand side I will take it as processor 1, right hand side I will take it as processor 2. Now, whatever the result obtained by processor 1, that is X1, is needed by processor 2, because I want to, what I want to do, I want to add and subtract. In order to subtract, if I issue add operation to first processor, then I need X1 as well as X2, but X2 is obtained by processor 2, so I want to communicate with the processor 2. Got. If I take minus operation, in order to subtract, I need X1 and X2, so X1 is obtained by processor 1. So this processor 2 wants to communicate with X1. So in order to communicate, I have inserted 4 extra instructions here. I have inserted 4 extra instructions, that which is in yellow color. Okay. So what is S1 and S2? It indicates synchronization operations. Synchronization. I am communicating with processor 2 using S1. I am communicating with processor 2 is communicating with the processor 1 using S2. Now, after communicating, I want to load the value of X2 to the this one. Processor 1 wants the value of X2. Processor 2 wants the value of X1. So I need 2 more load instruction in order to load X1 and X2. Using L5, I will load X2. Using L6, I will load X1. So 4 more extra instructions are inserted here in order to synchronize between the processors. As I have 2 processors here, I need synchronization between them. Now, I got X1, I got X2 here. So, processor 1 already have X1 and it got the X2 from processor 2. Now, it will add those two. And processor 2 already have X2 and it got the value of X1 from processor 1 using this S1 and L6 operations. S2 and L6 operations. Now it will subtract. Now if you see how many clock cycles are utilized here? 6. In previous case it was 7. But what is the number of instructions here? Students, are you listening? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you compare this previous and this one, in previous I had 8 instructions and I executed in 7 clock cycles. Means 8 divided by 7 is 1.14. Means average number of instructions got executed per machine cycle was 1.14. It is approximately equal to 1 only. Okay. If I see here, already I had 8 instructions and I have added 4 more instructions. Total number of instructions are 12. So 12 in 6 clock cycles. So 12 divided by 6 is equal to 2, which is approximately equal to this. Here I got 2.7. So it is equal to approximately equal to 2.7. So I actually here I have overcome the mismatch between hardware and software parallelism. I hope this concept is clear for you. Is there any doubt, students? Is there any doubt here?
No, ma'am.
So, today's class we have seen what is hardware parallelism, what is software parallelism. Then, using one example, we have seen parallelism and hardware parallelism and what is the mismatch between them. Okay, because hardware parallelism will take care only the resource dependency, as whereas software parallelism will take care of both control and data dependencies. Okay, but according to that, there will be a there are possibilities of getting a mismatch. Okay, so how to overcome that? So when I got mismatch, when there was a mismatch, when I used two issue processor, when I used two processors, then I I could overcome that mismatch. Okay. Okay, students, is it clear, students? Any doubts?